Mr. Factor, we're going to go to you with story number 3. This piece is coming out of local10.com, local10.com, which is the ABC affiliate down here in South Florida. It has to do with Ultra. Ultra is this electronic dance music festival that's held annually down here in Miami. And it basically kind of represents it's one of the symbolic ends to the winter season, much like Easter or Passover would be. This is like one of the last big events where everybody comes rolling into town for. So, Mr. Factor, I'll read you the headline for a couple of graphs, and I want you to comment. Headline: Ultra Music Festival ends with few arrests in downtown Miami, police say. Subhead: Biscayne Boulevard near Bayfront Park reopened Monday morning. And first couple graphs: the Ultra Music Festival ended on Sunday night with few related arrests in downtown Miami. According to Officer Kiera Delva, a spokeswoman for the Miami Police Department, there weren't any UMF related arrests on Friday, and there were only 4 arrests on Saturday and 3 on Sunday. Delva reported the cases were for illegal vending, theft, and trespassing. The festival's beat of electronic dance music lasted longer on Saturday night than on Friday, when the organizers had to end it early because of stormy weather. Sunday had the shortest schedule. UMF organizers expect about 55,000 EDM fans to take over Bayfront Park, so Miami police officers closed the section of Biscayne Boulevard in both directions from Thursday night to 7 a.m. Monday. Mr. Fakler, the month of March has pretty much been, it's worked its way out as spring break month. There's been a lot of talk leading up to what was going on in Miami Beach. I was effectively a police state. There were curfews in place. There was $100 parking fee requirements. They were scanning everyone's tag or license plate as they drove onto the island for spring break in South Beach. There were DUI checkpoints, and there was a ton of arrests. Ultra, which took place in downtown Miami, sounds like it went off quietly. And I say that tongue in cheek because Ultra, the music just blasts. So, Mr. Factor, why don't you give us your take as our resident social gathering expert, whether it be spring break or Ultra or anything, here for the Miami Reporters Roundtable podcast?
Well, I'd like to push back a little bit on this story.
Okay.
I have a confession to make. I became a troll, Ultra troll. I trolled the X site of Ultra, where a lot of the participants, they rave about the different sets and they talk about how great the music was. I can tell you, every 3 posts was somebody complaining about they got robbed. They got their phone stolen. They got their wallet stolen. I was shocked. And I was like, wow, I guess they had a lot of issues, despite, the security measures in place. So then I read this story and I was shocked because it's talking about only a few arrests. And perhaps maybe the reporters could have pushed back a little bit here and got some numbers for the 3 days for the festival to see what the total amounts of, arrests were compared to the previous year. Maybe you could show there that there was maybe an improvement. But I mean, listen, just a couple of days earlier, there was a looting of a Hermes handbag in Miami Beach store that I believe is a boutique that's in one of the hotels there. Over $1.5 million of handbags was stolen. Somebody pulled up, 2 guys, they took 100 handbags, middle of the freaking day, took off. And it's like, we talked a little bit about this last year. Was there a movement in crime in general that, that crime was getting too much in Miami Beach and a lot of stores were starting to open up in downtown. And maybe this is more of, according to this reporting, more of an indication of that happening. Problems on Miami Beach, less problems in downtown. Last year when we talked about this, I took a beating from viewers and, people were just up my ass about, what are you talking about, this and that. I don't want to, listen, I don't want to toot my own horn because it might be just, a one-off or a two-off. But, I thought that was pretty interesting about, seeing all these boots on the ground at Ultra saying, I'm getting robbed everywhere I turn around. There's crooks everywhere. So
Mr. Factor, there's a lot there to unpack. Point number 1, if somebody got their phone ripped off, how were they able to post that they got robbed? So I just put that out there. That's sort of,
listen, I'm just telling you what they were saying. Maybe a lot of these, just to push back on that a little bit, most people don't come to Ultra alone. They come with groups. The girls come together. The guys come together. Maybe somebody else's phone was able to post that. So that's my little pushback.
All right, all right, all right, all right. That's fine. So, let's also talk about. You said $1.5 million in luxury handbags were ripped off in Miami Beach during spring
Over
break
100
week.
handbags. Yes, over 100 handbags, and obviously a very highfalutin boutique fashion brand, Hermes, I believe. And so they didn't know what they were looking for. I mean, the poor guy showed up, I don't know, afterwards, and he was like, "What happened?" Somebody came in and they broke through the window or whatever and took 100 bags. So you got this
Mr.
happening.
Fakler, was this? But there was a curfew in Miami Beach. Was this during the day or?
I believe from the, I'd have to reread it. I can't tell you offhand.
Okay.
I don't have the story in front of me.
That's fine.
But it might have been. It might have been during the day.
Mr. Fakler, I'm wondering though if Miami Beach was pretty much a police state, and I was down there early in March. They had streets closed and stuff like that. There were cops everywhere, and they weren't just Miami Beach police. They were from all jurisdictions in and around the state of Florida. Did the story say about how these people were able to avoid this huge police presence?
Not really, but apparently the criminals pulled off a very similar scam last year, so they were able to quickly find them and arrest them. So there was some sort of
arrests were made.
Yeah, I believe arrests were made. Yes, and
interesting.
Yeah. By the way, and another, to your point, there were no murders this year. Last spring break there were a couple of killings, a couple of shootings at the cafes. So there were no reports of any shootings this year. So that's a plus. A plus.
So Mr. Fakler, is that a nod then to week 2 of the podcast when Donna Huffager Evans made the point that spring break was really under control in Miami Beach this year versus maybe what you thought at the time?
Yeah, I agree with Donna now.
Okay. Donna, if you're watching, Mr. Fakler's come around to your side. Fantastic.
Because she ripped me a new one last week. I know.
All right. And then final point, Mr. Fakler. It sounds like what you were saying is that Miami Beach, it's got a lot of challenges versus downtown Miami and the city of Miami, which seem to be handling Ultra and its social gathering much better than maybe what we saw in Miami Beach. Is that the takeaway from the month of March in 2024 from your perspective as an expert on social gatherings and everything spring break and Ultra?
Yes, definitely my takeaway. Absolutely.
Okay. Fantastic. Anybody else on the podcast want to comment on $1.5 million in luxury handbags getting swiped, alleged iPhone and cell phone theft going on at Ultra, or just the overall state of the month of March and spring break and Ultra? Well, anybody have any comments?
I think it sounds like a bunch of people having fun. But if their cell phone was stolen, are they going to report it? That may skew the day. And 2, Ultra's a contained event. Spring break is, with an entrance and exit. Spring break isn't. So I'm sure the metrics. I don't know. It could be. I'm not a social gathering SME like others.
Like Mr. Fakler.
Subject matter expert. But it seems like, I don't know.
Well,
how
these festivals are ripe
the
for
two
pickpockets.
crime.
They are okay.
Pickpockets.
I'm going to
Exactly.
make a generalization
Exactly.
here, but most of the attendees are in altered states, and so I don't think they're paying attention to their phones or belongings, and they're just like easy pickings, man. So I'm not surprised that a lot of stuff disappeared.
Exactly.
The professionals.
Yeah, Jean, he's dead on because, of the few arrests they made, it was pickpocketing, it was theft, it was exactly what he's talking about. So, they're easy pickings if they're out of their minds,